Welcome to the FOZL Industry Brief. Today, we are examining a question facing many management teams. Once an enterprise has tested artificial intelligence, how does it move from an isolated pilot to measurable business impact?
This is a critical transition in Singapore's digital economy. AI tools are becoming easier to access, but access to a tool is not the same as an operating capability. Scale depends on whether workflow design, data, talent, governance, and investment returns can work together.
Why is this particularly relevant now?
Singapore's Infocom Media Development Authority reported that the digital economy contributed about 18.6% of gross domestic product in 2024, equivalent to 128.1 billion Singapore dollars. In 2026, the National AI Impact Program was introduced with the aim of supporting 10,000 enterprises in adopting AI solutions and helping 100,000 workers become more confident AI users. The direction is clear. The focus is moving from awareness to adoption and changes in how work is performed.
Why do so many pilots fail to expand?
The problem is often not the sophistication of the model. It is the distance between the pilot and the core business process. A team may build an impressive demonstration without deciding who owns the data, who approves the output, who handles errors, or how the tool fits into customer service, finance, supply chain, or sales. The pilot proves possibility, but it does not yet prove repeatability.
Should a company begin by purchasing a large enterprise platform?
A more disciplined starting point is usually to select 2 or 3 use cases with clear business value and manageable risk. Examples might include reducing document processing time, improving internal knowledge retrieval, increasing forecast accuracy, or helping employees complete repetitive work more efficiently. Once the use case is defined, the company can make a better decision about platform, supplier, and architecture.
How important is data readiness?
It is fundamental. The quality of AI output depends on whether data is accurate, accessible, authorized, and regularly maintained. Companies need to identify which information may be used, which information is subject to confidentiality, personal data, or cross-border restrictions, and which outputs require human review. If responsibility for data is unclear, expanding the system can magnify risk rather than create value.
Does governance inevitably slow innovation?
It should not. Effective governance helps teams decide more quickly what is permitted, who has authority, and what checks are required. A risk-tiered approach can help. A low-risk internal productivity tool may follow a streamlined process, while a customer-facing, credit, employment, or compliance use case requires more rigorous testing, documentation, and human oversight.
How should management evaluate return on investment?
Labor hours saved are only one measure. Companies should also examine cycle time, error rates, customer response, employee adoption, and opportunities for new revenue. Each use case needs a baseline, an accountable owner, and a review date. Without those elements, AI can become a recurring cost that no one can connect to a business outcome.
What is the right approach to talent?
Not every employee needs to become a technical specialist, but business owners need enough understanding to identify appropriate uses and limitations. Technology, operations, risk, legal, finance, and human resources teams should help design the workflow. The strongest adoption often comes from employees who understand the operational problem, not from introducing a tool in isolation.
What additional considerations apply to cross-border companies?
They need to account for differences in data rules, language, customer expectations, and accountability across markets. If Singapore serves as a regional headquarters or data governance hub, the company should define which models are shared regionally, which data remains local, and how each entity supervises suppliers and output quality.
Vendor dependence is another concern. How should companies manage it?
Management should understand where important data is processed, how models or prompts can be moved, what service levels apply, and what happens if a supplier changes its terms or withdraws a product. Portability and exit planning should be considered before a tool becomes embedded in a critical process.
If you had to give management teams 3 questions, what would they be?
First, does the selected AI use case connect directly to a business result? Second, are the data, accountability, and human review arrangements strong enough for scale? Third, can the Singapore regional function connect common technology standards with the practical needs of different markets?
Moving from pilots to impact is therefore not about producing more demonstrations. It is about establishing a repeatable, supervised, and measurable way of operating.
Exactly. Competitive advantage in enterprise AI comes from converting technology into a dependable process. The tools will continue to change, but clear governance, reliable data, and accountable business design provide the foundation for durable value.
Thank you for listening to this FOZL Industry Brief. In our next episode, we will examine how Singapore's green economy can move from capital interest to project delivery.
This material is provided for general information and market discussion only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, accounting, or other professional advice. Policies, programs, and eligibility conditions may change, and companies should obtain advice appropriate to their circumstances before making specific decisions. Information and data are accurate as of August 20th, 2026.